My name is Mrs. Paulette Foster, but first and foremost, I want to thank everyone who stayed the course. We've been here since 9 this morning, and we are tired, yet we are staying this course. I also want to thank local organizers like 1PA who have diligently fought the fight. Yay! Those are my people. Along for Journey for Justice, the coalition who has fought also. So thank you, Journey for Justice, for all the hard work that you've done. So my question, Vice President Biden, is that my nephew, who's 19 and attends Pittsburgh City Connection, which provides continual programming in the community-based setting for students 18 to 21 years old with moderate to severe disabilities here in Pittsburgh. Our previous governor cut $1 billion of our education budget, which left our local school districts struggling to make up for the loss. IDEA, a law written and passed to protect the rights of special education students, has been underfunded by our federal government for the past 40 years. Here in Pittsburgh, our students have been shorted by as much as $400 million over the past 12 years, according to some reports. As president, how will you commit to fully funding IDEA, Title I, and deliver on a long overdue broken promise?
I have said from the beginning, look, this is about more than money. This is about when I voted for IDEA back in the 70s and again reauthorized it in 95 as a senator. What I talked about was what my dad used to say. Every parent's entitled to maintain their dignity based on income and the rest. But here's the deal. How can you maintain your dignity when you look at your, is it nephew? Nephew. And you realize the nephew has enormous potential. But you look at you walk in like Jill and I talked about this when she was teaching in the public school system in Delaware for the first 15 years. And you walk in and you meet a special ed teacher, and on the night that parents come in for student-teacher night and have to look at the parent and say, I'm sorry, we just don't have the resources. We don't have the resources. It is wrong. And the reason why I think, and I proposed and laid out exactly how I'd pay for it, $139 billion over the next 10 years to fully fund IDEA. Now here's what let me tell you why I think it's so important. I think the way we sell it, we don't sell it the right way. You realize if we fully fund, by the way, just the funding we've done, the increase in graduation rate by 45% of people in that circumstance with disabilities, and 25% increase in the number of people going on to college. But when we make the case, and I will make the case, and we do it by dealing with raising the corporate tax rate to 28% from 20, it doesn't need to be where it is. What we do is you end up making the case, look, it will save the public billions of dollars, billions and billions of dollars, to have someone who has a disability have the capacity to maintain their own well-being, to be independent, and maintain the ability to keep themselves together when mom and dad and aunt and uncle are gone, saves billions of dollars over time. So the $139 billion over the next 10 years is a drop in the bucket compared to what it will cost if we don't address this problem. We don't. And so I've met with the special ed teachers. How many of you teach special ed? How many times, no, I'm not joking, how many times you have to look at a parent and say, I know. No, I really mean it. And so that's what we have to do. We have to fund it. And look, again, my time's running out, but here's the deal. Folks, the idea that in this God-forsaken, lousy tax break given to the super wealthy, that we cannot find the money to fund Title I, IDEA, to deal with making sure that teachers are able to write off their student debt. That we're in a position where you have to go on. If you go on, teachers should be paid for the. My wife put together a mentoring program in how many years ago, honey? Down in Northern Virginia Community College. Well, guess what? Public school teachers are doing the same thing. You're mentoring other teachers. You should be able to be paid for that mentoring in addition to your salary. So you don't have to go out and get a second job. You're doing it anyway. So the whole range of things that are overwhelming the interest of the country, and those folks who say they don't want to fund this stuff, it's ridiculous. It's bizarre. It's overwhelming their interest. These are money-saving propositions. And I promise you, I'm going to fight like hell to make sure it is fully funded. It's a moral obligation we have.